Well, hello, SPAC friends and family. It's Tuesday, and it's shortly after 2 o'clock here on the West Coast. And you know, it must be time for SPAC Chat. We are back at it for another year of Tuesday broadcasts. Some of them are live, some of them are pre-recorded. We're going to mix it up this year. But what we really need is your suggestions. Sometimes it's really hard for us to sit around and figure out what you guys want to talk about, chat about, learn about. That's where you guys all play a key role. Remember, this is a community of people, so we want your ideas. We do have a few first-time attendees who said that they would join us today, and they're hopefully will be here shortly. But let me bring on our one and only co-host of SPAC, Calvin Harrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope all are well and have recovered from what was a remarkable week of seminars and sessions. It's a pretty big milestone for an organization to hit 70 years based on volunteerism only, but we've done it. We capped that one, so got to be proud of that. So one of the things I wanted to have a conversation about as we wait for some of our newcomer guests, the people that were first-time attendees, to share with us what was that enlightening moment that they had, that light bulb moment that they had. And anybody can just chime in and tell us what theirs was using the chat feature that we have here. So the question that comes to mind is, what was the most important and special thing that you gained from the SPAC experience? Because you have now been SPACtized. It's just one of those things. And yes, we use the religious connotation because it is a different type of environment that we offer, or we attempt to offer each and every year. Before we do that and have that conversation, before you guys start kicking in, I got to say, Miss Corey, you were missed. Everybody missed you. However, all of the work that you did prior to our conference resulted in success even in your absence. And that is, quite frankly, that is the mark of a leader, someone that can set things up and make sure all the ducks are in a row and then react as necessary. But your team, the team that you put in place, were able to fulfill all of the things that you needed to be fulfilled. So congratulations on that, and we can't thank you enough.
I want to say really quickly, Calvin, I want to say to everybody, I've gotten so many messages and so many text messages and emails, and as much as you guys were missing me and my energy, I was so missing you. I was suffering from the worst flu with a fever, vomiting, but the worst thing over everything was the FOMO. You work all year long on putting something together, and the not being able to visualize it, experience it, feel your energy, that was what was driving me crazy upstairs as I was still sending out messages and making sure everything was running smoothly. But I missed you all so desperately. So please, we're going to have to do extra hugs next year.
I can testify to you missing people because you were calling me on a regular to see what's going on, how things are going, et cetera, et cetera. So it, like I said, you put together a team that were able to make it happen. And that's all that we can ask of anybody. So thank you so much for your commitment.
And big thank you to all of them. I mean, first of all, I have to thank my daughter, Kaylee, who really stepped into some big shoes, according to her. And I also, the whole team, all of our volunteers, Dino, I could not do this job without Dino. There's so many of you, all of the speakers, my vendor friends, my exhibitor friends. So thank you so much, everybody, for carrying the torch and making sure that the event still carried on. Now, Calvin, before we get onto this, I really want to show the opening video that we had at the 70th anniversary dinner. It was really great, and I wanted to make sure that people who were not there got a chance to see it. So really quickly, everybody, it's not a long video at all. It's going to take you less than a minute to watch it, but I'd like to play the video.
Great. Yeah.
Calvin, tell me what it was like to stand on that stage at that dinner and look out over 1,000 people and tell me
You
what
know,
that was like.
it's really funny that some people get, butterflies and their trepidation relative to speaking in front of an audience or standing in front of a large crowd. And many moons ago, decades ago, um, I learned that the people in the front row are naked, so you don't need to be scared or anything because they're sitting there naked, you know. But no, in seriousness, it was a vast crowd of over 1,000 people sitting at a banquet on behalf of photographers. And the first program that they showed there in that little snippet video, that entry video, was a 5.5 by 8.5 color program printed on. Gosh, I forget what kind of machine I printed that on, but it was total of 8 pages, 5.5 by 8.5. So guess what? It wasn't as much work to put together as the new programs that we've been having over the past number of years. That, of course, was at the Riviera Hotel, which is no more. I think they're building a baseball stadium over where that one was. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in the location. But the bottom line is that the audience and the people that we had at the conference were A1. It was just wonderful. I think that the feedback that I've received, certainly there's some feedback regarding the venue and that sort of thing, but the feedback that I've received is that the trade show was by far the best that we've had. Number of vendors, access to the vendors, and that sort of thing. There is one change that we will be implementing no matter where we decide to go, and that is if the trade show is separate from the actual conference classes. And that's something that, it's a little inconvenient, but it's something that's necessary if we're going to have the number of vendors that we are beginning to have. And that is that we will make sure that we have seating and that sort of thing outside of the trade show areas so that people can leave the trade show floor, go down, have a sit down conversation and discussion. And that was the only thing that I saw that was easy to fix relative to the trade show experience.
Well, I've heard from a lot of the exhibitors, and they said to me, Corey, oh my God, it feels like a real trade show. Plus the vendors. I mean, the exhibitors, I want to say props to you. Many of you took your square footage and got really creative with your space and had such a wonderful use of your booth space that I think really contributed to the whole event. So we've had amazing speakers. All of our speakers, our speakers have all received your survey data. So all of you who went and took the time to put a feedback for that speaker, we appreciate it, and they do too. We've been reading all of the data from all of the analytics we got. Let me tell you the engagement that we had going on in the Whova app. Over 6,000 one-to-one conversations. And that's not just Len saying hello. That is actually like a text dialogue. The amount of people who scanned each other's badges to get their contact information, which means everybody was engaging and everybody was networking. I'd like to mention, okay, fantastic. Thank you, Len. I will also like to mention that the Whova app is accessible to you for almost a full year from now. We take it down right before the next year because we're updating our systems. But if you, let's say in September, all of a sudden land a school that wants some fancy banner and you're like, oh my God, I remember there was a vendor. You can go in there, you can search your Whova app, you can send them a message, you can send each other a message. So this is still a really utilized, valuable source of information for yourself.
The Whova app is invaluable when we consider that you have it for a full year and they have everybody that was in attendance at the conference is accessible through that tool. You can create your own side dialogue outside of Whova, but the reality is you can search for products and services directly within, as well as some of the people that you might have met but weren't able to grab a phone number from, or a card from, or a contact from. You're able to communicate with them because there's ideas that you get to share. You get to bounce ideas off of each other. There's just a host of things that those relationships will foster and develop. One of the topics that I had on my notepad, Corey, that I want to find out from you, because I made some promises. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I made the promise that the scholarship info would be up in the beginning of March. Do you think we can make that one happen?
Yes. So
Okay.
I am working with Beth on the deliverables. So we're going to provide you some already Canva graphics for you to use, leaving a spot for you to put your company logo and contact information. But we'll be creating all of those. My goal is to have those by the 1st of March available out, and we'll be sending all that information via email. We'll post it on all of our socials. Again, for those of you who were not at SPAC this year, we have taken the senior, and we're talking about high school seniors, scholarship program that we did last year. We gave away 3 scholarships, one for the West, one for the Central, and one for the East Coast. And this scholarship is going to a high school senior who may be in yearbook or in photography, something that would fill our pipeline for our business down the road. Someone who's going to go on to college or an art school or a photography school to develop their trade. It also comes with a camera. Not only do they get money to pay the school bills, they also get a camera to utilize immediately, which is fantastic. So this year we are doing 6 scholarships, 2 per region. And the goal is for whomever's recipient wins, let's say in Podunk, Idaho. So Joe Schmo we would send him the check and we would send him the camera, and then he would get a photo op. And then we, of course, will take a picture of that senior at that time. So this is a great way of, again, supporting our industry.
Yeah, and Corey, let's make sure that graphic is designed in a 4x6 format, so that if they desire to blow it up to a 1828 with Science 365 for a poster to go to their high schools, they would, or the schools in their area, they would be able to have those printed for $2 a pop. And when you walk into a school with a poster, when a rep walks into a school with a giant poster that says scholarship and your logo is on the bottom of it, it kind of gives you there's going to be they'll stop to see that. Oh, what is this about? Oftentimes we think that we're going in and selling pictures, and we do. Granted, I'm not going to, say that we don't. But at the end of the day, their biggest interest is in what's in it for my kids. What are you giving me? That's been the experience I've had. And so by having this type of scholarship offering that we've been able to assemble over the past couple of years, and the vendors our camera suppliers are very much on board with it, and they're donating the cameras. By doing that, we're just building up our brand, building up our industry, and building up the people that are our attendees that have access to that scholarship information and are able to put their logo on the signage that they can post at the school. It's kind of hard to get a sign up at a school that you don't go to, but if you're giving a scholarship away, or a school that you don't service, but if you're giving away a scholarship, guess what? All of a sudden it's out the window. You get to they'll put the poster up because they're interested in their kids benefiting. And that's the big key. The other piece on that, Corey, another piece on that is the panoramic photo. We've gotten some requests that I've seen come across regarding they'd like to get the digital file for the panoramic photo. Perhaps they're going to print it themselves. I totally get that, understand it. So we're going to try to get that set up and pushed onto our Facebook page so that people can download that digital file and they can print it or do whatever they want with it. I think that, who was it? Was it Fuji that provided the prints?
Fuji provided the print. Rick Lindsay, I'm going to give him a heads up because he was instrumental in working with Andy from GPS Risers. Again, I had to develop a team because I can't have all my board members doing everything. So I have to develop a team. So major props to Barney from Fuji, Rick Lindsay, Andy for getting that all set up. And I'm sad that I wasn't in it. But,
Yeah.
next.
That was a rather amazing picture. We posted some images that I had collected from the 80s and the 90s. We posted some of those, and when you go back to the 80s and you look at the size of the organization, the demographics of the organization, it was dominated by men, where we are now seeing, of course, a far more blended community with women and others. So it's just, the journey has been wonderful. The journey continues to be wonderful. And we're just trying to record that history. If you'd like to be a piece of that, or if you'd like to get a piece of that history, be sure you keep your eye open on the website. We'll get an email out to let you know that it's available. Corey, we might even be able to attach it to an email and just kick it out to everybody and be done, as opposed to forcing them to go to the Facebook page. So that's another vehicle. And then one of the questions that came up was, or one of the things that came up is, how are tariffs going to affect us? And I'm a little leery about getting involved in this conversation because it's not a political conversation. It's about the economics of our businesses. And so as we go about listening to the things that are happening, being uncertain about what's going to happen, if you have the resources, it's highly recommended that you purchase materials that may be coming from offshore early, stock them up early so that you can avoid the increase in costs. Remember, tariffs are not something that the importer pays, or the people in the other countries pay. It's something that we will end up paying. And so our costs of goods are going to go up as a result. Certain costs of goods will go up, and we can hedge against that by purchasing or placing our orders now and getting that stock on the shelf for the next season.
I'm going to cover a topic. So there was a lot of weather problems, and I wasn't the only one who got sick. So we've received quite a bit of requests because people weren't able to travel about a refund and a possibility of what we're going to do there. I just want to let you all know I am not ignoring your messages. I just don't have a board meeting until Thursday, and I need to make sure I have all my board members before they make a decision on what we're going to do. So please give us a little patience, give me a little grace. I have not forgotten about you. I never will. And I will make sure I get back to you. Also, in the same thing, I want to let you know is we're going to be rebooting our website. We're trying to get some secure servers so that we can put the photo contest winners up on there, maybe a member only access area. We have a few ideas on what we would like that to look like. So just be patient, as we, in usual, we'll probably do it over the summertime, make some changes on the website. Calvin, you're finally going to get your own SPAC email.
Corey,
like you need another one.
What was the first topic you just spoke of? I'm sorry, I lost track.
You weren't listening. It's okay, Calvin. You're busy. I was just talking about a lot of people who had a lot of weather problems and travel and illnesses. And they've emailed me asking for a refund or what we should do. And I just can't promise anything till we have our meeting.
No, we can't promise. And we always err in favor of our attendees. Here's the challenge that we face, quite candidly. The event is paid for in advance, and the 100%. food cost for the event was well over $350 per person, and that would be the banquet meals. And if you've had a wedding, you know what if you've ever put on a wedding, you know what banquet meals cost per head. The breakfast or the lunches, they all cost per head, and it's not easy. So we really have to do a calculation, look at how many people has been impacted with it. How can we help ease the pain of their missing and the money they spent? But we have to do it in a fiscally responsible manner because it's a reserved seat. Just like the dentist office, you got a reserved seat. If you don't go, you're going to get billed anyway. Well, we just have the money in advance now. You bought the ticket already, like going to a concert. The ticket is gone. There's no refunds from a concert. So we're going to, in candor, and trust us, we are going to be looking at it because we know that many people actually struggle to come to our conference. It was a special event for them to get there, and they need to get that. If they can get some sort of a refund, some sort of a credit, some sort of something, we're going to figure that out and make it happen.
Yep, thank you. I love the fact that's one of the things I think is our secret sauce. We pay all our bills before we arrive. So everything literally is paid for. I give my final numbers. I tweak my final numbers a week and a half before the conference. Otherwise, the chef can't get me any more salmon or steaks if I don't. So we do have timeline constraints, and I hope everybody understands. I also want to thank everybody for all of your information on the surveys we ran, the post-event survey, as well as the survey regarding a possible venue change. I've heard a lot of rumors swirling around out there, folks. Nothing has been decided yet. Again, our board has a very important meeting this Thursday, and after they make some determinations, we will move forward. But trust me, I give you all the most up-to-date information as soon as I get it. So you know I'm always sharing it with all of you. So just kick back, have another cup of coffee, and wait a couple weeks. I'm sure we'll let you know.
Hey, Core, you recommended that people submit some topics that they'd like to see hit on these channels, on these broadcasts. We certainly have enough people that would be volunteers in the education arena that they'd be willing to come on and talk to us about it. I certainly hope that we can get somebody to come on and have deeper conversations about the artificial intelligence, AI, and how they're using it to facilitate more efficiency within their business. I know that we as a board have leaned on Matt because he's able to kick out some information, analytical information very quickly. While we're in the middle of a conversation, all of a sudden we'll get an email from him and it's analyzed whatever the heck we were discussing and giving us a mind map or a plan of action or whatever you want to call it. So please give us your input, because you are the ones that help this organization plan for the future. We'll also be keeping a record of that input and have a better understanding of some of the courses that you might want to have at the next conference. So there's various avenues, shall we say, that we are pulling information from to understand how can we create a program that is broad but fits the needs of our individual attendees, because that's super critical to us, is that we're meeting your needs where you are, and you'll grow from there.
You're so right. We don't know what's happening in your neighborhood. We need you to keep us all informed. Again, SPAC is a community. I always talk about the 3 E's. And for those of you who don't know, because maybe I haven't said it in a while, we have 3 E's in SPAC. It starts with engagement. That's our attendees, our vendors, everybody engaging and get things like this, SPAC chat, our in-event happenings. When we see each other at other events such as MVP or SPOA, it's about engagement. The second thing is education. We all believe that if we deliver a solid education, we are strengthening the industry and helping all of those independent operators tackle the business so they don't lose it to somebody else. The other thing is, the third E is enrich. Who enriches your business? That is all of our exhibitors. All of those service providers who print your yearbooks, print your photos, who help you sell online, who print your envelopes, they are enriched. So that advisory group is nothing but a group of our exhibitors. So we have committees. If you're interested and you have time, please also let me know that as well.
You'll find there is far more reward from giving than taking. You know, it's karma. The more you put out, the more is going to come back to you. And you'll find that amongst all of the people that you have found to be and that you might admire within the industry, in any industry, you'll find that the ones that are giving oftentimes are the ones that are most successful, because there are no secrets. There's just different ways of doing things. And it is just the nature of the beast. So we love you to give of your time, of your energy, of your thoughts on how we can continue to make this organization a better organization that supports the independent school photographers out there. Corey, I don't have anything else to say. You know, I'm winding it down, dear. And,
Yeah, I know.
okay.
Okay, everybody. This was an awesome SPAC chat. I guess our two people who were going to come weren't able to make it. Well, maybe that means they got a phone call and had to run to go make money. That's what we will see. And everybody else, thank you so much for a wonderful SPAC 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm loving your comments on Facebook. I love seeing the photos that you guys shared of some of your more candid moments. That Valley of Fire, like some of the photos that came out of that were just amazing.
I would love to get a reel or something put up for that with those images.
Yeah, I mean, some of those were fantastic. Okay, everybody, that's it for me. Are you all done, Calvin? Okay, everybody, have a
wonderful week, folks. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.